of exponential and logarithmic. I just want to, be able to go through the process and kind of show you at least another example, especially maybe one that's a little bit trickier, how we do it and so forth. So in this example, we want to find the equation of the line tangent to f of x at the indicated point. And part A, we have f of x equals x squared e to the 2x minus 2. Or sorry. 2x minus 4. And we want to find the tangent at a equals 2. Okay, so very traditional type of AP calculus problem that we want to feel very comfortable with. What do I do? How do I attack this problem?
Product rule?
Well, it is going to be a product rule that we will eventually have to do. But how do I tackle this type of problem that they're asking me to do in this problem? How do I start this type of problem?
With the u prime v plus v prime u?
Well, now this question so far has not told us to take the derivative. So before we get to taking the derivative, so we got to be careful. I noticed some people just go, I'm going to take a derivative right away. But you're not reading the whole question because that's not going to answer the question that's being posed here.
Plug into.
Once again, that's not answering the question that we're trying to answer. So what is this question asking?
Find the equation of your line.
Tangent line. Okay, so what is the equation of the tangent line?
Y minus f of a equals f prime of p.
F of 2 in this case.
Oh yeah.
F prime of
f prime of
2.
X minus 2.
Okay. Now I can see that I need to find f of 2 and that I need to find f prime of 2. So let's start by finding f prime of 2. Well, to find f prime of 2, I've got to first find f prime of x. So now I know what, now I'm trying to start finding the derivative. So before we, some people, you can get the right answer. Some of you might start plugging into the derivative and then after that, take that answer and then go to the tangent line. For the purpose of my lecture notes and the way I like to lay out the problems, I like to just lay out the tangent line first though. Because a lot of students just plug in and then they're done with the answer and they think that's the answer. It's like, well, you didn't even do any calculus. And then some people will just take the derivative, plug and take the derivative and answer that and say, here's your answer. But the question wasn't asking for the derivative. Now you need the derivative, but it's not asking for the derivative. It's asking for the tangent line, which is y minus f of 2 equals f prime of 2x minus 2. So we have product rule here. So what is f prime of x going to be? So f prime of x will be something of a derivative times a function plus some derivative times another function. So what do we get? We've got a lot of practice on product rule now. Hello?
Is it 2? Wait, am I plugging in 2 now or no?
No plugging in.
Okay. So 2x e to the 2x minus 4 negative 4e.
Copy paste first. Let's copy paste. This is last night's homework. Taking the derivative of e to the 2x minus 4. E to the 2x minus 4 times
2
times 2. And then times all that times
x squared.
X squared. All right, good. So this is my u, this is my v, this is my u prime v plus v prime u. So we set it up. We got to practice it. We got to nail that, everybody. We have to nail that it's the derivative of x squared times the second function plus derivative of that of e to the 2x minus 4 times that first function of x squared. You got to nail that product rule, and there's no other way about doing it than just practicing. I guarantee you that if you're not doing your homework daily, you're not passing the AP exam. I can guarantee that. All right. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. No matter how strong you are, you'll make mistakes. So you need to be doing your homework. And if you are brilliant enough to pass the AP exam and without doing your homework daily, well, you probably could have, should have, and should have got a perfect score of 5 on the AP exam. And you just threw that away and get a 3, which most likely means at the college you might want to go to, a 3 will give you credit at most state schools and most majority of schools. But for the major colleges, you'll need a 4 or a 5 on the AP exam. All right, so we got f prime of x. So now let's find f prime of 2. So f prime of 2 is? So you get step by step.
Wait, do you want the answer for it, or do
not
you
the
want
final
us
answer?
to put it in?
Yeah, let's plug it in. Let's do it step by step.
4.
4 times
e to the 4 minus 4, so just e.
No, e to the.
That's negative 2. And 1 negative 2.
No.
E to the 0?
E to the 0. I was going to write 4 minus 4. You got to be careful. 4 minus 4 is 0.
Yeah. It's negative. It's positive 4 and negative 4 is 0.
Yeah, so 4. Yeah, so e to the 0 plus
2e. See, 2e.
2e to 0
to the 0
plus 4
times 4. Good. That gives me
4 plus 8,
which is
12.
good. So f prime of 2 is 12. Nice clean answer. If you're going, what? Remember, e to the 0 is just 1. All right, so now we also need to find f of 2. So f of 2 is f of 2 is, don't give me the final answer, just do it step by step.
2 squared e to 0
Which gives me
4.
Gives me 4. All right, so
where did you get that from?
f of
Yeah,
x.
where did you get that from? I'm lost. From the original equation.
How do you?
X
Here's your original equation.
It's the function.
Yeah, and then e to the 0 is just 1. So it's 2 squared times 1, which is just 4. Okay, I get it.
So what's my answer? Still haven't answered the question now. Still got no credit.
Do you have to plug it into the equation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Oh, y minus 4 equals 12 parentheses x minus 2 parentheses.
And I'm done. Let's do another example. F of x equals the natural log absolute value of cosine of x, close absolute value, at x equals pi yeah, we'll go pi over 2. No, that doesn't work. Cosine of x minus 1, and we'll evaluate this at no. Jeez, sorry. I'm trying to do a problem off the top of my head, and it's getting me a little bit like grr. E sorry. I wish I had this problem written down. My notes weren't printing. E to the cosine of x at x equals pi over 2. That should work. All right, so once again, we're trying to find a tangent line. So my tangent line equation is y minus f of pi over 2 equals f prime of pi over 2 times x minus pi over 2. Now this deals with all three transcendental types of functions: natural log, exponential, and trigonometric. Okay, so we need to first find f prime of x in order to find f prime of 2. So what is f prime of x? Now this is a very good example of a problem from last night's homework. So what is f prime of x? How do I find it step by step? It's a practically review of the previous night's homework, technically. Or it could be doing the same thing. So we start off with the natural log. So what's the derivative of natural log? How do we differentiate that?
Is it 1 over e cosine of x?
Good. And we're going to multiply that by the derivative of e cosine of x, okay? So I like to take it a little bit more steps, especially in notes. We're going to multiply by the derivative of e cosine of x, which gives me e cosine of x times, now what's the derivative of e cosine of x?
E cosine of x
Times
negative sine of x.
Times negative sine of x, all right? Because the derivative is copy-paste the derivative of the baby. What do you notice about the derivative? What happens? What do you notice about the derivative?
The e cosine of x for the numerator, or the denominator, yeah, they cancel out.
Perfect. So now f prime of pi over 2 is negative sine of pi over 2. Now we can just look to our unit circle. You don't have to memorize that. I gave you that unit circle. I said have it ready. You want it always ready for be able to look at it at any point in time during this type of unit, and even later on when you need it. So sine is the y value of the unit circle, and cosine pi over 2 is directly up. So what is sine of pi over 2?
Negative, just 1.
Just 1. Straight up, it's just sine of pi over 2 is just 1. We get that just by reading our unit circle. All right, so negative 1. So f prime of pi over 2 is negative 1. Good. What about f of pi over 2? So how do I find f of pi over 2? It's the easiest thing to do. It's not even calculus.
On the inside, cos of cosine of pi over 2 is just 0, so it's 1. And 1 over 1 is just 1. Maybe? I don't know.
We used the original function. We use the original function. So yeah, you were getting that right. It is e cosine, and don't forget the natural log. So we just plug it in. Just plug it in. There's no calculus. Here's a function. Plug in to that function. So natural log absolute value e cosine pi over 2. We're plugging into the original function. And as Ariana was saying, this is the natural log of e to the 0. Cosine of pi over 2 is 0 from the unit circle, which is the natural log. E to the 0 is just 1. Therefore, f of pi over 2, what is natural log of 1? This is one of the evaluations I told you should feel comfortable with. What is the natural log of 1?
0.
It's 0.
Oh.
And therefore, my final answer is y minus 0 equals negative 1 parentheses x minus pi over 2. Okay. So you got to be able to take these derivatives. You got to be able to plug them in. You're going to see some natural logs combined with exponents now. You might see them combined with trigs. It's just practice. It's just taking each step. It's very algorithmic. You know, a tangent line formula, take a derivative, plug in the number, that finds you the slope, plug that number back in, plug the value back into the original function, that gives you the y output, and then you substitute them in to find a tangent line. Tangent lines are very algorithmic. You do this, then you do this, then you do this. Now, in terms of taking a derivative or evaluating, of course, those require you know, the concepts that we've learned previously, how to take a derivative. There's different methods for different problems, and of course, how to evaluate them. We had that problem in your homework from last night of evaluations, and it takes some practice. So just as a reminder, e to the 0 is 1. Natural log of 1 is 0. E to the natural log of 4 would be 4. Natural log of e squared would be 2. Those are the types of evaluations you will likely need. For your homework. Do my best. So let's do one last type of problem that you're going to see, and these are the problems with tables. So you're going to see the problems with tables. I'm going to try to do 2 examples of these type of problems. I hope I get a table values correctly. X, and we'd have like 0, 1, and 2. We have f of x. We have f prime of x. We have g of x. We have g prime of x. I'm probably not gonna, for this example, I'm gonna shy away from, actually, yeah, I'll put them in there anyways. So we have 5, -2, 0, 1, pi over 4, 8, pi over 2, 1 over there, pi, 2, 6, and 5. And for these problems, we're going to find h prime of x at x equals a. And the first problem is h of x equals, we will go with the natural log absolute value of g of x at x equals 2. Okay. So this will take into your rules. Do you want to know the rules of taking derivatives? And then, of course, reading from a table should be something we should feel comfortable by doing now. We've done a lot of examples on that one. So here's my table. I'm just finding the derivative. So what's the derivative? This is a natural log to a chain. What's the derivative for this function? Come on, I want to get you guys out early. Never let me try.
1 over g of x times g prime of x.
Yeah, times the derivative of g, so g prime of x, good. And I want to find h prime of 2, which gives me g prime of 2 over g of 2, which is?
5 over 1.
There we go. So my answer is?
5.
5. So the rules, you might be doing this, you might be doing the same things. You might be doing e's. Do you want to see another example with e's or cosines or natural logs? Do you feel you need another example?
With e.
Okay, you want an example with e? All right. Do you want e to be the baby? Do you want e to be the mommy? Do you want there to be multiple chain rule? The baby has a baby? What do you want? I'll create a problem for you.
When it's the baby.
So when e is the baby. Okay. Anything else you want me to throw in on this problem?
I guess double chain rule.
Double chain rule? Okay. So let's go with f of e to the g of x that'll work. At x equals 0. All right. So this has chain rule. This has double chain rule. Double chain rule is going to happen, and it has an exponent that's part of a baby. So it's a nice, beautiful problem here. So how do I find h prime of x? Hope I met your needs, Norda, of the problem. Remember, we work outside in. And I like to do it as multiple steps.
F prime.
F prime of
E g of x
times.
And then you do EG of X, parentheses, or bracket.
No.
Oh, times G prime of X.
There. Now close bracket. I mean, the closing the bracket wouldn't have done nothing since everything is timesing, but if there was a plus, that could have had a little bit of problem. So it's the derivative of eg to the x, which is eg to the x times g prime of x. So that was the extra chain rule in there. We multiply by the derivative of eg to the x, which is a copy-paste, but then we have to, don't forget, its own baby right there. Boom! It's a good derivative, so h prime of 0 would be f prime of
E power G times 0.
not times,
Only 0
of 0
times
times
parentheses E 0 times G. Well, I don't know that word, so
you got to know that word. There's no excuse for in calculus not knowing that letter, not knowing that symbol.
G prime of X.
Yeah.
Not g prime of x, g prime of
0
0.
prime.
Yeah, you got to know that symbol by now. Prime. All right, this gives me f prime of e to the 0. G of 0 is 0 times e to, well, g0 is 0 times, what's g prime of 0? 1. So this becomes f prime of 1 times 1 times 1. Okay, so that's all just 1. Which gives me
1
f prime of 1. Which gives me what?
1. Oh, wait.
H pi over 4.
Hey, thank you, Nicola. It is 8, people. 8. F prime of 1 is 8. F prime of 1 is 8. Careful. You don't want to do all that good, beautiful work, and then it's a multiple choice problem, and you choose the answer of 1. So you gotta be diligent. That's the toughest part about calculus. It's like you do all this beautiful work and you have all this, and then you just read one little thing wrong, and all of a sudden you don't get any credit for it because it's a multiple choice question. Now, if it's not a multiple choice question, it's a free response, you will get credit for that process and work you do. Now, I get a lot of individuals who try to jump, who will try to jump from here to here. Don't do that. Don't try to jump from here to here. I don't even like you jumping from here to here. That's also a no. It's very important in calculus that you state the derivative function. Always find h prime of x before you try to find h prime of a. In calculus, you will get points for finding the derivative function. But if you skip the step of finding the derivative function and you try to be fancy by starting to plug in, you risk not earning those points. Okay? That's all I have for you. I'll post the homework very shortly. I just got to edit it really quickly. Since I'm going to end class 5 minutes early, I should be able to post that homework up because I had to edit it. For some reason, I guess I saved it in the wrong location and didn't post it. I will do that right now for you.